In this tutorial, I'd like to show you how to call a Matinee camera move on an event. Let me give you an example. When this side scroller character overlaps with this little kid, this nice camera move triggers the end of the game and gives a little more cinematic edge to the game. And then it shoots us back to the main menu if we want to play again. So let me just show you how to do the camera move Matinee part of that. So let's recreate something else in the world. Let's say maybe when we get to this spot, we want some sort of camera move. There's probably a ton of different ways to do it, but I'm going to start with just one. So the first thing, let's have this Matinee happen on an event. So let's have that happen on so when our character runs into this sphere trigger here. Let me just get the sphere in the world. And let's make this a little bit bigger so she has plenty of room to run into this sphere. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to do is add a camera. So you can add a camera, you can adjust the camera where it is, or you can see where you are here. So let's see, like maybe I'm right here. So we can create a camera here, which is kind of nice. So I think I'll do it that way. I'll do something strange like this, and I will add a camera here, create camera here. Let's name it cam side, because it's kind of on the side right now. So we'll do that, and let's create just one more camera. Just something that looks different. So we'll go up here. We'll do create camera here. And I'll call it cam side 2. Now that we have our camera created, both of our cameras created, let's go up to cinematics here and let's add a Matinee. So coming out here, we can rename our Matinee. So let's call this Matinee sides. Okay. Going back into our Matinee, in order to set this up, so we actually need to be in our level. So let's go find the cameras. Okay, so cam side 1. With this selected from the level, I will go into Matinee. I will right click here and I will add new camera group. And I'm going to call it shot 1. Then if I go back in the level, select cam 2, then I will add this one here and I will call it shot 2. So this is going to cut between 2 camera angles here. So once we have this set up, we also need to add a director group so that we can direct what these cameras are doing. So then with this selected, let's see, which one are we on? Let's start with camera 1. So with cam side 1 selected and the director selected here, we will add a keyframe with shot 1 and we'll click OK here. Let's zoom out a little bit to see that. So the black is the player scroller. So let's say we want shot 1 to last up to 3 seconds. We will move shot 1, which is this red thing. Maybe we will. Let's move it here. And these are a little tricky to move. You You click it and you think you can't get it to move, but that's because it snaps. So you actually have to drag it way farther than you think. And actually the red is already way out here. The red is here. The green is here. So that means we have this camera shot happening. Let's put it at 5 seconds. Up to 5 seconds here. So now if we want to add, let's say we want the second camera shot to be seen at the last second. Let's put it here. So then here we can click enter, which is the same thing as adding a key. Enter, it gives you the option, which shot do you want to see? We're going to see shot 2. Okay. So then here is when we will see shot 2. So this is a really basic thing that we have right now. So let's come back to this if we need to. I will close this for now because it needs to be closed in order to play. So it's always a good idea to save the game after you close the Matinee and then play it. But first, let's go into the level blueprint here. And now with our trigger box selected, let's look for on actor begin overlap. On actor begin overlap. Great. So when the character overlaps with the trigger sphere, we want the Matinee to play. So now we need to select our, we can see that this is Matinee sides. We want to have that selected so that when the overlap happens, we play that Matinee. And this, I guess, is a legacy thing. So it's a little bit harder to find some of the nodes, but they still work. So play Matinee. I'm going to look in cinematics. It's going to be the play in cinematics. There we go. Oh, perfect. Sometimes this reference will pop there. If it doesn't though, you can always drag this Matinee sides in here and that will create a little reference for you. But in my case, I got lucky and it just snapped in there. So we're gonna hook this up here. So then that should be it. It should play our camera movement when we run into that. One other thing on the side here, when this Matinee is selected, if you want to play this when the level begins, like as a cinematic opening, you can just check play on level load. This would also be good for troubleshooting. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and, nah, I won't, I'll wait. I'll make you watch it. Ah, okay. So it is playing on level load. It's kind of like a setup thing. But if we didn't want to play it on level load, you kind of have to wait through my intro. So let's go downstairs. Ah, cool. So she overlapped with that. And you get sort of a weird disorienting camera thing. That's kind of cool. So if we wanted to continue adjusting that, when you click on Matinee here, you actually have to go over here and open it. I'm not sure why it's unlike the other pieces. You can't just click into it, but you have to actually select Open Matinee. And it will say, this is an old thing. Do you really want to use it? Yes, it's kind of cool. So there are other things you can do when you cut between two shots. So let's start on shot 1, this FOV, field of view angle. So if we have this highlighted, and where are we now? If we have this highlighted. Okay, so we're right about here. So maybe we want it to move a little bit here. So let's press enter. And being on shot 1, if we right click on this little FOV keyframe, we can set the value. And 170 is the widest angle you can get with this shot, and I believe 0 is the closest. I'm not really sure. So let's start with 90. And then let's drag this over here. This is just going to look really weird just to see what happens. So let's add another one. And instead of 90, let's put 10 just to see where that gets us. So we're going to have some movement going in closer and farther on the first shot, and then it should still cut to the second shot like usual. And I know it's strange, you can't save it while it's open. It's really strange. So let's cancel that. You actually have to X out of this. Then you would save it here and play. But I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to go for it. So let's see what kind of interesting movements we might have added there. So she's going to run into it. Does anything change? Huh, nothing changed. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's go back into that matinee. Open. Yes. Okay. So my guess is, what value is this? 90 and 0. I actually think 90 might be the smallest. So I bet that's why we don't see a change. So let's go ahead and try. Make sure I hit enter on that. Oh, I didn't. So you can't just put it in there. You actually have to hit enter. So 90 to 140. That should be zooming out a little bit, I think. So let's see if that actually changed it. Oh, okay. 90 to 140. That's right. Yeah, zooming out a bit. And then we move back. So there you go. There's a lot of different things you can do with the camera movements, and I think they add a whole lot to your game.